there, Ray here, and today I would like to share with you guys my Infinite Railway Builder flying machine. This nifty flying machine allows you to be able to AFK and place down infinite amounts of power rails while having those power rails stay powered on any flat surface. This flying machine is quite small, consisting only of 19 blocks, and you can see the entire thing from these two angles. You can use that fly machine in conjunction with this fly machine, which I have shown before. This is my infinitely automatic AFK cobblestone bridge builder, where the player could AFK here and just place lava up against this block, and then he will continually make these cobblestone bridges. This will give you a nice flat surface to fly the next fly machine over top of and place rails. You can also use my flying machine on top of the nether ceiling, which has a nice flat surface with all this bedrock here. Since the entire machine is above this level, it will just sit on top of it, and the limestone pieces won't stick to the bedrock. And if you want to, you can run my flying machine all the way to the world border, as there's nothing preventing you from not doing so. And you would end up with a rail line that is 30 million blocks long. On top of the bedrock ceiling, there is a chance for brown or red mushrooms to generate up here, so the player won't be able to place down rails in all the areas. So to modify the machine so that you can remove these mushrooms before placing on rails, I just put in a piston here as well as an observer, and that way every time the player places on one rail, the machine will move forward one and also break any mushrooms that are here. And it works just like the other machine where you would set the minecart and place down a rail here and duplicate a rail and give you a new one, and you can see it's going to move you along. Now the reason the player is sitting in a minecart, that way it doesn't get desynchronized from the server, and sometimes the game will think the player is supposed to move one area, then the machine will move, and the player will kind of glitch through the blocks and ends up not being moved along with it. And since he's in a minecart, the game will keep track of the minecart along with the blocks, and therefore it will move the player properly along. Also, when you start this whole system, be sure to come in and place a power source in the very beginning, and all the rest of the rails will be butted from these two redstone blocks that are moving back and forth. This device is incredibly easy to use as well as to build up. Now I'm not going to go over how to place down all these blocks, as you can see pretty much everything just from two sides. I will explain how you can put this minecart inside of this block here. So to remove it, you remove these blocks here, and then you start out by placing down a minecart here. Now you want to hold the minecart in place, so what you'll do is have a block there for it to be held in place. Then you'll have a rail and just place down your minecart like so. Push your minecart over against this block here, or somewhere near it. Then what you'll do is next is come in with an observer and have it facing this direction like this, and then come in and place a piston like this. Then all you need to do is come on top of this piston and place down a pressure plate, and this will push this block into place, and this block will hold the minecart from getting shoved out of the way. Then you can remove that and come in and place a slime block there, and then you can push this minecart here into the block about halfway, and then you can place in your dead coral. I use the tube coral because the image of it is pretty small, and that way when you're inside the minecart, you don't get the whole entire thing in your face. You can still be able to see where you're pointing over here. And the reason why we have the minecart partly inside of the block is so that when the rail duplicates from this rail duplicator right here, when it kind of flies off as an item, it has a lot of different directions it can fly, and by the player being very close to the center where the item will end up, whichever way it flies, the player will be able to pick it up. We also have a block up here to prevent the item from landing on top of that, and we also have a block back here to prevent the item from hitting the slime and getting shot way off in the distance for the player not able to pick it up. So all you need to do now is be able to AFK it, and you can do this just by having your right click button held down. You can put a weight on it, or you can go into your controls and switch out your mouse buttons with a keyboard, and that way you can place weights down on it. There's other techniques that I've talked about in the past as well, which you can use to hold down your buttons. The speed of this machine is 6,000 rails per hour that can be placed as well as duplicated. And since you do this in Nether, so by placing 6,000 rails, you would equivalently go 48,000 blocks in the overworld. I also made this version about a month or two ago, and if you guys are watching the stream, you've probably seen this one before. This was a version that was using the rail duper that Acheron and I designed, which is an observer that is powering this rail here, and then what it does is it kind of shakes the rail and moves it forward and moves it back. This causes it to duplicate. And this method pretty much works very similar to the other one, where it has one that's duplicating the rail, and then it has some other ones which are coming in and moving the power sources. We also try to contain the rail by having a bunch of these terracotta blocks around it. So here I'll give you a show of it working. The player would AFK right in here, and then the player would have one rail and they place it right here. And then what it do, it would duplicate a rail and resupply it. That's what it looks like from the outside. Place a rail, kind of shakes it, it makes the rail duplicate, and then it moves the whole thing forward. This is also a very interesting observer clock here, which allows it to be able to power, then retract, and then power again, and allows it to move forward as well, which is kind of nice. This was a design that we were going to show before Harvey came out with a design that uses the chorus plant to duplicate the rails. If you'd like to see some more similar flying machines like this that are really small yet do really cool things, I have a bunch of them and I'll link them down in the description. I've also provided the world download, which has this machine plus those other two machines that I showed, in case you want to look at them in more detail. A small yet useful device to have in your very own survival world. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. And if you found this interesting, show me the like and share this with others. I really appreciate that. If you guys have any more questions about this device, please ask me down in the comments, and tell me what you might use this device for. Bye-bye.